Honestly, I'm a very paranoid person, so I need to constantly get tested for everything, and that includes STDs. So I show up and we're sitting in the waiting room, and I'm with my roommate. So I go in the room, and as I'm in the room, I come out and I see my friend, and she's like, "Oh my God, you will not believe who's here."
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Chemical X featuring your host Alessia and co-host Veronica. You're like, bitch, I'm the host. You're the co-host.
Co-host.
Let's just get
we're
something
both
clear.
Hosts, or both co-hosts. Not sure how that works.
This week is a little different. As you can see, we're both filming from our rooms. The only difference is Veronica has her boyfriend as the button pusher, and I'm stuck doing this all by myself. Why none of my friends want to take the risk and come click the button? Because nobody wants COVID.
And because it's illegal. So basically, Alessia and my boyfriend both contracted COVID and both tried to blame each other, but I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with me because I'm negative.
Veronica, you admitted too that you think your boyfriend gave me COVID, so
I don't know.
all.
Honestly, I don't know the timeline. I think somebody else came and poisoned you both, but somehow I'm just too cool to get COVID.
Andy Maneras
too
is
cool
the
for
answer.
COVID. We just blame everyone but ourselves. But basically, Alessia got COVID, and then after my boyfriend ripped me for letting her come in the house to shoot a podcast, he ended up getting a positive result as well.
I was like to her boyfriend, like, if he thinks that he could just blame me, that's not happening. You gave it to me.
He had about like a 1 hour span between Alessia's positive result and his result to blame her, and then after he got positive as well. So I ended up getting tested, and lucky me, you would think I'm negative. But not so lucky, because apparently when you get a negative test result, not only do you have to quarantine for longer, but these bitches are fucking chilling and doing whatever they want. And I'm here quarantining with my boyfriend in my own house and can't touch him, can't talk to him, have to watch couch from the fucking balcony.
You guys can't touch each other, you guys can't kiss. You want to know what it's like being in four walls? And I hang up on one of my girlfriends on FaceTime and I go, I gotta go. And they're like, bitch, you got nowhere to go. You got no responsibilities. There's nothing. So just don't ever say you're going to hang up the phone with me. And I'm like, wow, I'm really
Alessia
like,
FaceTimes me about 92 times a day.
But you answer
pretty
about
much,
a solid 8.
It's because, the other times I'm pretending to be busy. But basically, no, I'm joking. I don't know why she said that. I answer all the time. But basically, when you're positive for COVID, you only have to quarantine for 10 days after your symptoms. And when you're negative, you have to quarantine for 14. So I'm stuck in this house after these two are set off into the wild, and I'm still sitting in my house with my negative test result, chilling, doing nothing, and not going to work.
I don't understand how you didn't get COVID. Like, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
Special,
how can you literally be, the day I came to film the podcast, we were technically both positive. You were swimming in germs and you came out alive. Like, what?
I was swimming in a pool of COVID and I said, not me. And I came out alive. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's because I probably had COVID already. So maybe I'm just immune. I don't know how long the immunity lasts, but I'm pretty sure I already had it. So I had it before it was cool, everyone. So don't think you're cool now because you got it.
Yeah, you had it before, like, everybody went for 6 tests a week. Like, you had it at the time where it was like, hey, you obviously don't have it. It's just the flu. Like, let's not get crazy.
I had it right before. I still to this day don't know if I had it, but I had gotten really sick in like February, March, like literally at the beginning where the cases were just starting to rise. And I got tonsillitis. And at the time, I didn't think it had anything to do with COVID. And then I had lost my sense of smell and lost my taste. And then only after like 2 weeks later did the symptom come out of losing your taste and smell. And I was like, oh, must have nothing to do with it. It took me, guys, 6 months, literally sick month. Yeah, 6 months to get my sense of smell and taste back. 6 fucking months, okay? And the only reason that I think that I have COVID is because for a really long time after getting my sense of smell back, I would always like when I first started getting it back, everything smelled the same, and like everything smelled really gross. And I was like,
Well, that's
it
kind
always
of like
smells.
me. That's kind of like me
It's
now.
like,
Like, I don't smell or taste anything. I'm like asking for chocolate cake, but it's a waste of calories. Like, I don't taste anything. It's useless. I
yeah.
might as
So
well eat healthy in this time.
literally. And I was like that for like 6 months. And at that point, I was far gone past thinking it had to do with COVID. I was like, there's something wrong with my nose. I went to literally get an x-ray of my nose and they thought I had a sinus infection, but I didn't. I took a whole thing of antibiotics, didn't have a sinus infection. Still, I would smell, guys, as if there was something stuck in my nose, like making it smell gross. And then maybe a month ago, I'm on TikTok. Love it. Love a good TikTok. And I see this TikTok of this girl like saying basically she had COVID, and ever since she's been regaining her smell, she smells like a disgusting smell everywhere. Like things smell rotten. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm reading the comments and everybody's like, oh my God, me too. It's been happening for months.
Wow.
And then I went, so
it's
basically,
confirmed.
this is,
It's
it's
confirmed.
confirmed.
You had COVID, and that's the
TikTok
reason you
diagnosed
didn't
me
track it again.
with COVID.
You
Yeah,
didn't
and guys,
track
it took
it
me
again?
6 fucking months to get my smell back. So you guys are just at the start of your journey. I somehow managed to squeeze on by getting it again, but in reality, I would have rather been negative, because if I would have been negative, I could have actually hung out with my boyfriend in quarantine. But since I'm sorry, if I would have been positive, but since I'm negative, I literally have to act like I'm fucking allergic to him, because if I come near him, that's another 14 days I need a quarantine. And meanwhile, he's out a week earlier, I'm still home sitting doing fucking nothing,
If that were me
waiting to
and
go
he's
back to work.
stuck and he can go back out into the wilderness, the wilderness,
Wilderness.
and you're fucking stuck in, I'd be like, bitch, you're gonna fucking quarantine with me. Like, you're not just gonna give me COVID, make me have to take off 2 weeks of work, not get paid before Christmas, and you're just running around town. I don't think so.
It's honestly, out of all three of us, I actually lost in this, the one with the negative result. So I think I learned my lesson, guys. And if anybody else is listening, the lesson is actually get COVID. Don't test negative. You're better off testing positive.
Crazy.
At least you get out of quarantine early.
If I were to get COVID, the symptoms would be so bad, but they really aren't. Well, I guess for me and David, they weren't bad. Like, it was just like a normal flu, like just like a bad headache. My throat was hurting like very little to nothing. I was a little bit cold. When I was going in the shower, I was like out of breath because I was like, okay, I need to sit. But like other than that, like, okay, my nose is leaking. My like,
But
I
it's
lost
still
my
regular
taste buds.
cold stuff.
It's still regular.
Honestly,
like,
for me, the biggest shock out of not even having COVID, but whatever.
yeah,
The biggest shock out of it all was I was expecting, guys, like unmarked vans outside my house, waiting with FBI for me to step out so that they could shoot me down and be like, illegal! She left her quarantine! Like, I swear, I was literally expecting that. Like, and I'm here in my house, trembling to even walk down my steps. I'm like, can I go to the dep to pick up eggs? I feel like I'm gonna get shot. And I'm trembling, guys. I have a negative fucking test result. Like, how does that even make sense? And I'm terrified. And another thing is, I realized all this fear that they put into our heads is so bullshit, because they didn't even bother. I have two people who have positive test results, the two closest people to me, and I didn't even get a call from the whoever the fuck takes care of this.
I'm positive,
It's
and I didn't even get a
insane.
call. Like, I
It's
basically,
insane.
they called me to let me know I was positive, and when I got that call already, I was like, okay, I would have got a text or an email if I was negative, so I'm clearly positive. So already when she called, I was like, I have COVID. But like, after I found out, it was like, I can't explain it. It was like, it's like, what do you do? Like, and I'm like, and then they're like, we're gonna call you and we're gonna let you know what you have to do and what are the rules and like who you have to call, and your parents need to go get a test and all this. They're like, they should be calling you soon. Never got a call. Like, what the fuck?
Insane.
And then your boyfriend
insane.
David doesn't even, that he gets called 3 days later for being positive.
4 days later.
4 days later, after 24 hours, if you technically don't get a call, you're like, okay, I'm good. I don't have it. So for your boyfriend, I don't understand. And then they call him and he's all like, they're like, what's your email? Just confirming your email. So we'll send you an email with the results. Like, at that point, if he's COVID,
Just tell me fucking now.
you can't tell him on the phone. Like, what?
It's crazy. And he gave them all my information to let them know that we live together and we've obviously been in contact. And all they did not contact me once. All they did was send him an email for him to fill out a form for me on my behalf of if I'm feeling symptoms or anything. But nobody called me to tell me that I had to be in quarantine. So technically, I could have been going out and about, and obviously I'm not going to because I'm living with somebody who's fucking positive, and I'm not going to go give it to everybody just in case. But it's just to say, like, here they are screaming that we're not respecting quarantine and that the restaurants can't open because COVID is getting higher, the cases are getting higher and higher. But it's probably because the fucking people that are positive are not getting a call, not getting any kind of like rules of what they have to do. Like, how do you expect people to know what to do if you're not telling them?
If I hear fucking COVID again next year, like, I'm literally gonna scream. I'm so
But it's ridiculous.
over it. I'm literally so over it. It's like, you could do Christmas, we're allowing you to have Christmas, and then they take it away. It's like, you can't just promise a little boy a PlayStation and then take it back. You can't just promise us Christmas and then take it back. Like, that's not allowed. Like, maybe you should have just fucking let us know closer to the date than to tell us we're getting it and then take it away. Like, that's rude. My mom used to do that growing up, and I hated her for it.
Yeah.
Don't make
That's like the
promises you
first
can't
rule of
keep.
business. Don't overpromise things you can't deliver on. But no, it's fucking ridiculous, guys. So honestly, the fact that they're taking away Christmas is probably because they don't know how to run the people that actually have fucking COVID, but they're too worried about the people that are going to be meeting for Christmas. And second of all, if you need anybody to blame, you can go ahead and blame these two over here, David and Alessia, because they're probably the two numbers that put us just over the edge where they said, guys,
I'm actually dead.
you know what? We hit the amount, we can't have Christmas anymore. So guys, you can, your whole family, everybody, send them a DM, a hate message, because it's their fault that you're not having Christmas.
Even my friend Mel was like, oh my God, like, when I look at the numbers today, should I be expecting year two? I'm like, yes, you should.
Realistically, the 10 people at Christmas, like, first of all, they were asking us to quarantine for a week before. Like, oh yeah, let me just take off 1 week at work so that I could stay home so that I could celebrate Christmas. And then they say 10 people max. I'm like, okay, well, you obviously don't have an Italian family because my immediate family and my dog is already 10. So
my family, we're already 6 people. So you're like, really?
It doesn't make sense.
It's fine. The dog counts as 1.
The dog counts as 0.5.
Oh my God.
Not
Moving
even,
on from
0.2.
COVID, guys. Basically, we both have it and there's nothing we could do except wait the amount of time. I'm literally fucking lonely. I break up with my boyfriend 6 times a day. I'm literally depressed. And
Just to have something to do.
Yeah, and then I go through positive moments where I'm like, Alessia, this is your time to shine. You got 2 weeks to focus on yourself. You should probably work out. Wait, no, you're out of breath. Okay, don't work out. Let's create a vision board. Everything you've ever wanted in this world. Let's jot it down. I'm like, perfect. Mom, go buy me a poster, please. She buys me 2 posters. It's probably because it was 2 for 1. And
at the Dollarama, you know how it is.
You know how it rolls. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start printing pictures. Do you mind just like printing them, bringing them up when they're done? Because the printer's downstairs. I'm like, how come they're not printing in color? She goes, sweetie, we don't have color. We have laser printing. That's only black and white. I'm like, even on the fucking printers, we gotta go halfway. So now I was talking with my friend, and I'm like, who lives around here that could print my pictures for me? Because Veronica's too far. And then I find a friend who would go ahead and print me the pictures. But then I'm like, hold on a second. The pictures are going to be printing in what? She's going to be looking at them. There's going to be like $1 million stack. Because they say so basically a vision board is like you want to visualize everything that you want in your future. If you can't see it, if you can't already feel like you're going to have it, then you won't. So they say make a vision board so that you're able to look at it every day and you make it happen. So, therefore, when I start printing $1 million and I start putting a Rolex and vacations and all this, she's going to be going, hold on a second.
This fucking bitch.
I thought I knew Alessia, but let me get to really know her. Okay, why is she putting a Rolex? The $1 million wasn't enough. So then when she's a millionaire, she just take the Rolex. She could just buy the Rolex. Okay, next. Interesting. That's where she wants to travel. Like, it's just
perfect. She knows your whole secrets after.
That's
You're better off waiting and going buying the ink yourself. Or going to fucking Bureau en Gros.
I agree.
And make the guy at the cash judge you. But what happens with the vision board when it starts getting in the way? You put it in the closet and you don't see your vision anymore. How does that work? Does it need to
I don't
always be in
know.
view?
What happens when I start to go to my boyfriend's on the weekend? Besides all the clothes I need to pack, do I start throwing it in the car? Like, how does that work when it starts bending and like coffee stains go on it? Like, what
Do you bring it to
happens there?
sleepovers? Like, how many hours a day do you need to be seeing this vision board is what I want to know. And then I tell
Honestly,
Alessia, Ale, why don't you just make a collage set as your phone background? She was like, you know what? Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But speaking of manifesting, yesterday I ordered fucking movie popcorn from the movie theater because I love movie popcorn. It's the only reason I go to the movie theater. And obviously, with my amazing manifesting, I ended up also getting a bag of expired candies that the fucking movie theater gave me for free. And I said, this is manifesting. This is because I was telling the universe that I wanted a bag of expired candies and they delivered.
no,
So guys,
Veronica,
if
they
you don't
never
believe in
asked.
manifesting,
You said I wanted popcorn, and they said we're giving you candies. Manifesting is when you said, "Wow, it'd be so nice if they brought candies."
if they brought me expired candies, it would be so nice. And then it
Like,
came.
are you dying after
Imagine.
that? Like, what's happening?
I think you're good to go. I think they're like 96% sugar and this expiry date is just there, for recommendation. You know what I mean?
Wow, it's like they
It's
almost
like
knew who to give it to.
it's
You're
like,
already almost believing all this.
it's crazy. But last thing I want to say about COVID is everybody lied to me because everybody was calming me down saying, don't worry, the test lasts. Because I was here, there was a podcast where I said, guys, I'd rather quarantine for 2 weeks than take the test. Let me tell you how fast I ran to go take that test because I didn't want to quarantine. Everybody's telling me, don't worry, 2 seconds long. It's 2 seconds, don't worry. I'm like, okay, fine. I go take the test, guys, and I get there. I'm already panicking because I'm a pussy when it comes to this shit. And
Huge
I'm like
pussy.
I'm trying to make the nurse like feel bad for me. Like I'm trying to let her know that I'm freaking out. But she speaks French and already we have a language barrier and she doesn't feel bad for me. She just wants to shove this knife up my nose. So she starts saying, c'est correct. It's only gonna take 10 seconds. And then I'm like, 10 seconds? I'm
You're
like,
like,
what do you mean?
Is
I'm
it
like,
a 1,
start
2,
to
3,
finish,
8, 9,
right?
10?
Like you start counting when you're opening the fucking Q-tip bag. Like, when are you starting the 10? She's like, no. She's like, I'm going to put it in and I'm going to count to 10 and then we're going to take it out. I said, hold
1
on. I said,
Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. It's no 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Let me tell
I
you.
said, my friend told me 2 seconds. She's like, no, but it's because it's better that we do it longer so that you don't have to do it a second time if we don't get enough. I was like, listen. She's like, don't worry. She's like, it's the feeling as if when you get water in your nose when you go swimming. I go, okay. So she shoves this Q-tip all the way down to I don't know where. I didn't even know I had that much space in my brain. So shoves this Q-tip up my nose and she literally starts counting, guys. But when I say counting, I'm not talking about a 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 10. Like it was a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. And I'm there going,
You're
she
so
literally
ugly.
did not speed up at any moment. That was a full, guys, I want to say 10 seconds. It was more like a 20 there. It was more like a 20. Like if I was doing 10 seconds, I would have been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nothing made me laugh more when your sister was like, honestly, I was very uncomfortable. She started and she said, don't touch me because of COVID. And she just yanked the thing out of her nose. I went,
I don't know. I was
the
too
girl was
scared
like, you
that she would
can't
accidentally
touch me. Like, you can't touch me. What are you doing pulling it out? She was like, it was like my free reflex. I just pulled it out. I'm like, oh my God.
It's so
But
honestly, I really
apparently-
did not enjoy it. Wouldn't recommend,
Apparently,
guys.
You don't have to put it up your nose, and you can actually just spit. Do like a spit test, and I did not know that existed, and that's crazy.
Let me tell you how fast I would have chose if I had the option there.
I think
Because she gave me one
everybody
and it was up
would've.
the nose.
Everybody would have.
She said, "Ma'am," and I'm going nose job. Like, do I
Yeah,
still
you
have
were
the
more
same
scared
holes
for
that
this
everybody else
test than
have?
nose
But
job.
I'm like,
Crazy.
did my nose job like reroute something? Like, is it the same passageway now, or did we fuck it all up?
No, Veronica. If anything, it just unblocked now. Now everything is flowing properly.
If anything, there was more space to go in.
now you're able
But,
to smell. It all makes sense.
Honestly, guys, testing, it's not my strong point. I've always been a bitch when it comes to any testing. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just become a pussy. But actually, I have the funniest story that happened to me, and
I'm ready for it.
every time I think about it, I laugh. Honestly, I'm a very paranoid person, so I need to constantly get tested for everything, and that includes STDs. So,
You don't trust your boyfriend?
when I was,
Kidding.
I'm talking whole phase here, okay?
Okay.
Not
you don't
wifed
use
up
condoms.
phase. What?
So you don't use
I'm gonna pretend I didn't
condoms.
hear you, but I did hear you. What? Oh my god, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, anyways.
So she does it, guys.
So I was I was in Australia, and honestly, healthcare system in Australia, A plus, A plus. They have a clinic that is specifically just for STD testing, and it's completely anonymous. You just go in, you don't even go see somebody. You go to a computer, enter all your information, and they call you. You don't even you could give a fake name if you want. That's how anonymous it is. But here's the thing. I'm a
But I
broke
also heard
backpacker.
Australia is like #1 for STDs. Like it's crazy there.
What?
That's what
Okay, I
I
didn't hear that.
heard. It's like a big thing. Everybody says the most STDs in the world are in Australia. Anyways,
Well, I didn't
go
know
on.
that. Anyways, this clinic was like the best, and it was actually one of the clinics that were free to go to. So anybody could go, you didn't have to pay. So since I was a broke backpacker, I would go there and like complain. Like, let's say I really often get like UTIs, so like bladder infections. But instead of paying $80 to go to the doctor, I would just go to the STD clinic and say, oh my God, it hurts when I pee. And then I would be like, they would do all the tests, and then he'd be like, oh, you just have a bladder infection. Here's the antibiotics. And not only at that clinic was it free to see a doctor, but it was free to get the medication. So guys, if you're a backpacker in Australia, I'm just hinting you to this tip. Anyway, so I used to go there often just to get, because I'm like really prone to getting bladder infections. So I used to always go there for that. Anyways, so I'm seeing this guy at this point, whatever, it's like my non-exclusive bae. And we live in the same city, whatever, we live really close to each other.
Bae,
and
what
obviously
are
I'm
you?
going, it's because I don't know what to call it. So I'm going for my routine, I have a bladder infection and I'm going to get antibiotics for free test. So I show up and we're sitting in the waiting room, and I'm with my roommate. So I go in the room, and as I'm in the room, I come out and I see my friend, and she's like, oh my God, you will not believe who's here.
Guys, if you're looking for a neonific sign, use Chemical X at checkout for 10% off. You know, it's a perfect holiday gift. It's a perfect gift. Throw in your bathroom, throw in your room. Bring the club to the house now that we can't be at the clubs.
I'm like, what do you mean? Guys, if there's one place you don't want to run into somebody, it's at the STD clinic. And
Literally.
even more when you're not actually there for an STD, but you're going, I still don't want to run into you and have to explain why I'm here. Because at that point, you don't explain.
Yeah.
So she's like, you won't believe who's here. So basically, the guy that I'm sleeping with is at the STD clinic.
I don't
So
believe
now
you.
I'm going, hold on a minute. I'm here getting checked for a UTI, but if he's here, does that mean that he has an STD and now I should be fucking freaking out? Anyways, I'm freaking out.
Oh
So,
my God. Did you bump into him?
I didn't bump into him, but my friend bumped into him. But
Same
obviously
thing.
we were roommates, so he knew that she was going to tell me. So I immediately make a joke out of it. You know me, pull humor out of anything. So I send a picture and I'm like, haha. I don't even remember what I said. I was just like, haha, I know where you are, or something, like as a joke, just to like make light of the situation. I just tried to break the ice by saying, haha, I know where you were, like what the fuck kind of thing.
Okay.
So I'm thinking he's just going to be like, haha, just went to get my routine check. We're all good, you know? And I just kind of wanted to explain, like, I'm actually not here. Don't worry. I'm not here for that. But then doesn't open my Snapchat, guys, for until 9 p.m. at night. So I have from probably it was noon, probably 12. Okay.
Wow.
I have from 12 to 9 p.m. to be freaking out going, oh my God, I have every STD in the book. And that's why he's not answering me, because he's so scared to confront me. Because also usually if you get your results, you go into the clinic to get them. So I'm like, he's probably came to get his results and he doesn't know how to tell me that I'm dying of every STD. So I'm here having a literal heart attack. I when I was at the clinic, also another thing, hilarious. When I was at the clinic, I'm like, my friend told me that chlamydia pills apparently clear your skin. So I was like, blah, blah. They were like, oh, we see an infection, could be chlamydia. We'll just send you the pills anyways. I said, beauty, just prescribe them to me. He said, take them anyways. They won't do anything. I said, okay. Turned out they called me later that it was just a UTI, but I still took the pills. But I'm like, at this point, I didn't know yet what it was. So I'm going, he's going to call me. He's going to tell me that I have 6 STDs, whatever. And what am I supposed to tell him now? I don't know. So basically, I think I'm dying of AIDS.
Nothing. He hasn't been answering. Turns out
he hasn't been answering. I'm assuming I'm on my deathbed. I'm sitting there with my 6 roommates. They're all praying for me, going, you are dying and we're all dying with you. And I said, oh my God, this is it. This is how I end. And the clinic calls me, you just have a UTI, you're good. And then he finally answers me and he says, we need to talk. I'm like, what? Guys, when I say my heart came out of my asshole, I was like, this can't be. Finally, he calls me. He waits 2 hours to call me, okay? 2 hours to call me. He says, yeah, today I ran into your friend at the clinic, but I just wanted to say that I'm clean. I was just getting a check and don't worry. Or something like that. He went to pick up something. I was like, bitch, you didn't answer me for 10 hours. Had me here thinking that I was on my deathbed. And you went, we need to talk.
That's like scary as fuck. You can't just
guys,
do that and then not just call somebody. Like, if you say something like that, you have to call immediately.
You have to call
we think
immediately.
The worst.
Already, I was 9 hours down the line thinking the worst. When I got that we need to talk text, I was like, this is it. This is actually it. This is how you find out that you're dying. I was like, I'm over it. And at this point, I'm still here going, I probably have to tell him that I probably have chlamydia. Anyways, guys, it all worked out in the end because he was good, we were good, and I had clear skin because I took the chlamydia pills anyways. So moral of the story is, I just want to say that if you're going to go to an STD clinic that's free and accessible, maybe go to one that's not in the same city as the guy you're sleeping with. So that's the lesson that I learned out of that. And that's my experience with testing. It's always shit. Alessia's losing her mic.
Yeah. Wow, that's actually a crazy story.
Yeah, I think that was probably my most, like, not even embarrassing, just, honestly, guys, if there's one place you don't want to, like, meet up with somebody, especially the person you're sleeping with, it's the STD clinic.
Well, I mean, nobody ever says, hey, want to go on a date? Let's meet at the STD clinic, like.
And it's not like when you go to the STD clinic, you're essentially telling the person that you're sleeping with that you don't trust them. You know what I mean? Like, you're basically 100%. Saying, like, I don't really trust you. I'm going to get tested. So it's 100%. An insult on both ends. But now I'm going, bitch, why the fuck did you get tested? Like, what are you trying to tell me here? Like, I'm clean. Like, if anybody, it's you. Like,
clean, but still at the fucking clinic. So
clean, but still at the clinic. For a UTI, though. Anyways, guys, those are my 2 tips. Free clinic in Australia, but also don't go where the person you're banging is.
That's crazy. And we also made STDs sound like if you have one, you're dying, which is like so not true, but
no.
Bad.
I mean, there's a difference between having an STD and somebody saying, we need to talk after not calling you for 9 hours. I went crazy. But I just wanted to say it's so crazy. I remember when like I said, I'm very paranoid and I'm always like, I want to get tested for everything to know. I get this from my dad. I want to get tested to know that I'm just like negative, you know? And I know here, like in Quebec, I don't know why it's like that. I know we went to school and they would always teach us safe sex and get tested and routine and go to your gynecologist and pap test and everything. And I swear every time I would go to my family doctor, I would be like, yeah, can we also do like a checkup like on STD test? They're like, why? I'm like, well, I don't know, just to check. Well, do you have any symptoms? I'm like, no. Well, then I don't see why you would have to do it. I'm like, okay,
really?
Like, God forbid, I just want to be sure. Like, yeah, every clinic that I went to really, really like, well,
listen, kind of I think you need a better clinic.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like, at least 3 clinics I've been to in Montreal have tried to talk me out of doing it. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, I'm just doing it.
It should be an annual thing, maybe even
that's
twice
what
a
I'm
year
saying. That's how I feel.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
I think for somebody especially like you, just wear a condom.
I just mean
if your
like
doctor's
when you're not
gonna keep saying that, put on a condom.
3. But you
Literally.
never know. It's never 100%, and I'm just like a paranoid person. So
Yeah.
I'm always like I'd rather do it. And to think that people are actually like go trying to make you not do it because you don't have symptoms. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? Like this is why STDs spread. This is why COVID spreads. Like
Yeah.
it's the worst mindset in the
Oh
world.
my God. Moving on from COVID, moving on from STDs, guys.
And medical, I'm over it.
Lately, we don't know what to do with ourselves.
I'm bored. I have 16 projects to do that are all in my extra room, like chairs to paint, pictures to repaint. And every day I wake up and I go, huh, I still have 7 more days of this quarantine. I'll do it on another
Literally
day.
the same exact thing. I'm going, no, I actually have 6 days left and I have like maybe 2 vlogs to edit, a fucking podcast. And I'm going, I'm running out of time here. Listen, I know I told my boss
Quarantine
I'd
is
be out
never
on,
as,
I know I told my boss I'd be out on Wednesday, but it's starting to look like Friday now.
literally. You're starting to go,
Oh my
I
God.
still feel sick. It's
Literally.
crazy how we think we're going to get so much done. And I literally, guys, got bags ass done in this time. Nothing.
Crazy. I wanted
Nothing.
to speak a little bit about winning the Lotto 649. You're like, Alessia, did you win the Lotto 649? I fucking wish.
Is that part of your
I would be
manifesting board?
quarantining in the Ritz. And I told my parents to be quiet and not to, make too much noise. My dad decided to start hammering near the stairs. So, you know what? Get me out of here.
I don't hear it, so you're good. Do you play the lottery?
Honestly, I've never played before. But I will say now that the 2 last winners or whatever in the time span of not a long time, there's been 2
Of not
winners
a
that
long
are in their
time.
20s. Now, I'm a little confused here because a part of me is like, are they purposely choosing people who are young so that the people like us watch and go, what the fuck, this 22-year-old won? And then we're like, suddenly it seems that much more accessible. Like, wow, we could
Accessible.
actually win.
Yeah.
You start to be like, I could be next. And then this way, more people buy Lotto 649s. Because if you think about it, in the past, it's always been older people. Yes, I understand older people normally do tend to get a
Play.
ticket. But let me tell you now, I'm going, I might take a ticket
You know?
once in a while.
I also feel like I never ever play the lottery. I always do scratch tickets. That's it. But
Yeah,
I
that
never play
I've
the
done.
lottery. But every time somebody does win, I'm like, I don't play, but why didn't I win also? Like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, I didn't buy a ticket, but
then
also I
it's
should have
like
won. Like,
you buy a ticket and then you forget about it after 1 minute. And then after 30 days when they're doing the draw, like, where's your ticket?
actually, crazy story. It's so funny you say that. I just remembered back in the winter, last winter, I remember our lotto was like, it was so high. Everyone was buying a ticket. It was just super high. And I was like, nice. Like the one time I buy a ticket, guys. Okay. I buy a ticket and it's right before work. And I'm like, whatever, I'll just buy it and I'll figure it out in the morning if I won. You know, it was the last ticket to buy before the draw. And the girl even goes, no, you have to sign your ticket. And I'm like, why? She's like, trust me, just sign your ticket. If anybody finds it, then that's how you know the money's yours. I'm like, okay. So I signed the ticket. Then I'm leaving. I walk to work, go to work, whatever. I start my shift. And then after, I'm telling my friends, oh yeah, I got a ticket. Can't wait to check it, whatever. And I find out that I lost the one time I ever bought a lotto ticket, signed it and everything. I have good vibes about winning this fucking lottery. I lost the ticket. Nowhere to be found, not in my bag, nowhere. Probably on the street somewhere. And I was like, no
Wow.
fucking way. Why do I feel like I had the winning ticket, but I lost it? I was so mad. I was like,
Wow.
what are the chances that the one time I lose a ticket, the one time I ever sign my ticket, the one time I buy a ticket, the one time I ever sign it and I end up losing it. I searched everywhere. I paid the busboys to go look outside to see if it was somewhere in the streets. I was like, I'll give you 1 million if you find it. Anyways, I didn't find it and I also didn't win. So I remember for like 2 weeks I was checking who the winners were. And I was like, just to see if there was somebody who didn't claim their prize.
Could you imagine winning the Lotto 649 and then realizing you have to split it with 6 people because that's the 1 month 6 people got it? It's a bit like,
It's
listen,
great.
give me
It's
my
like,
fucking turn.
it's like I'm grateful, but also that's rude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Give me my
Yeah.
time to shine.
So Veronica worked at a casino and I always thought it was the most fascinating thing ever because I'm like, I remember even when she was going for her interview, I was like, this is legit. Like, this is like Apple shit. You guys have food served to you, breakfast, dinner. You guys could take a nap at work. Like, I don't remember. I've had quite a few jobs and none of them had a place for me to take a nap. So
So the casino, I did work at the Casino of Montreal, and it actually is a government job. So it's technically a government job because it's like funded by Lotto Quebec, which is funded by the government, and
you were making
run
a
by
lot
Lotto
of
Quebec.
money.
Anyways, yeah, so they pay really well, and also they have like amazing employee benefits. So guys, we had, if you've ever been to the casino, at the back behind, like in the employee quarters, we had like, first of all, like 2 floors of like lockers. We had a dry cleaner specifically for our uniform. You dropped off your uniform, they cleaned it for you. In 2 days you would go pick it up again. We had a whole fucking dry cleaners. We had a whole cafeteria that you could have breakfast, lunch. We had a salad bar. We had desserts. Literally a full cafeteria, okay? Because at any point, there was about 250 employees that were working at the casino. So it was a lot. We also had like sleeping. Like you said, we had couches where you could sleep, take naps. But you also have to think that we were working like fucking overnight. I would work 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. Like, it was crazy shifts.
And then your
crazy,
next
crazy
shift
shifts.
would be like, you would wake up
It
like,
would be
what
crazy.
time, day, year is it? And then you'd be starting again
Yeah.
like soon after. It's fucked up.
And there was a whole period of time where I was working 4 days a week, and I was working, what was it? It was like
Dynamite?
8 p.m. It was 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay. And I was doing that shift for like months. And I'm telling you guys, you don't have a life, because by the time you get home, it's 8 a.m. You fall asleep. You wake up at 4 p.m. You have breakfast at 6 p.m. Then you get ready and you go back to work. It's like, it's the most fucked up schedule you'll ever be on. It really, really fucked me up.
You were really
it's
a
not
newbie.
something.
They give those hours
Yeah.
to the newbies.
They give those hours to the newbies, and it's not something that I would say is sustainable to work all night like that. It was really crazy. It really fucked me up. And especially like sometimes since I was a newbie, they would switch up my shifts. So one week I was finishing at 6 a.m. The next week I was starting at 6 a.m. It was just crazy. And guys, imagine clocking in 6 a.m. at a casino. Like, you would think, who's at the casino at 6 a.m.? Let me tell you, there's a lot of people at the fucking casino at 6 a.m.
Oh my.
But I experienced some really crazy shit.
The one good thing I feel like about working at the casino is that, like, let me tell you, if you're tired, you come alive. Like, you hit that casino and suddenly you're like, I wasn't alive. I feel like the air, the vents and everything in there, like,
That's what
they're
they
prone to
say.
make
They
you
say they
up.
put more. They say they put more like, apparently they put more oxygen. There's no windows, so it's really hard to tell what time of day it is, like when it's dark, when it's light out. Like, it's really like, it's honestly, it throws you off so much. But you see a lot of crazy shit in the casino. Like, honestly, like, for us, we see the casino on a Friday night, a Saturday night, but when you're working at the casino on a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., that's when you really see the people who come to the casino. You know, like,
You
it's a
see
whole
the
different vibe.
gamblers,
Yeah.
the shit that goes down. I could only
Yeah, like,
imagine.
there's so many things that I've seen, just like people lying about where they are. Like, you know, you catch conversations with people, yeah, I'm at work, but really they're at the casino. Like, so many crazy things. There's so
Wow.
many rules. Like, it's very, very strict on like making sure, you know, like everything is happening like legally. It's a very, very strict environment to work in. Like, it was a really cool experience, but it is very, very strict. It's not like some places in Las Vegas and stuff. Like, it's super strict in Montreal. And like, but every once in a while when you catch people winning, so basically my job, I worked the slot machines. So if somebody won a jackpot, I was the one who paid them. So like, I would go to the machine and like congratulate them, write them their check, give them their money, whatever it
Wow.
was.
Your
And
jobs,
it was,
as much as we think we're different, we're all the same. You were the waitress girl. You're always the girl with the pouch and the money. Somehow, you might not have been twerking to give that money, but you were giving that money.
let me tell you, no twerking allowed.
Okay, so
But, yeah.
it's gonna be so fun to talk about, like, who have you seen win and stuff, and like, are you allowed to pay out like $1 million if they win? Like, is it you who still gives it, or is that something else, a different department?
It's a different department. But like, I think if they win over, oh my God, it's been so long that I've worked there. I don't even remember. It's honestly been like 5 years. But I do know, like, you can, like, literally, if they wanted $1 million, they could leave with $1 million in cash if they wanted to. But you need to have a security guard. You need to be like escorted back to your home. Like, I think
fucking
it's
hope
after,
so. Somebody's
like,
gonna jump you.
Yeah, after like a certain amount of money that you win, I think I don't remember if it's like 50K or something, like they assign you a security guard to watch over you, like if it's not a check, if it's in cash.
Yeah.
Because people can be really crazy at the casino, like especially like when it comes to machines, like sometimes people will win and the people that played the machine before them or that were
Oh my
sitting
God,
beside them were like, "Oh,
give us a story. Tell us the story you told me about the two people sitting down at the machine and was like,
I mean, it happens often. I remember one time, I think it was this girl. I think this actually might have been the most that I've ever seen somebody win, like myself. It was this girl who won. She was in the high roller section and she won something like $92,000. I don't remember, but something like that. A very high number, 70 to
wow.
90K.
For a casino, why is that
and
like $2 though?
No, it's actually a lot to win at the casino. Like it's not like the lottery. Like you don't win like
You're
millions
like,
and
Alessia,
millions.
you're gonna tell me that you're gonna win $92,000 and say, whatever, if
Yeah.
I win more, I'm gonna take that thing
Literally.
and start the car.
Literally. So she won, and basically like it kind of attracts the crowd when somebody wins a jackpot. So there was like a bunch of people around, and like just people become petty. Like I remember there was like this guy beside her that was like, yeah, but like I'm the one who told you to like I'm the one who told you to play that machine. Like, come on. Like, I'm sure there's going to be something in it for me. And the girl was like,
Wow. Or like,
and
I
was
played
just
that
like,
machine before you. So
yeah,
like, technically
people
you only
become,
won because of me. Honestly, can't
yeah,
even say if I was in the girl's seat and she won, I wouldn't even say that.
but
Bitch, you
I
owe
guess
me
it's
half
kinda,
of it. You won because of me.
I warmed it up.
Oh my
I
God.
mean,
And
like,
you watched this all go down?
I mean, like it's happened often, and it's like you said, when you're sitting in that seat beside, you would think the same thing. So you can't imagine how many times that it's happened to people where they just feel like, okay, well, you owe me something because I told you this or I told you to do that, and that's why it's like,
And like,
it's so.
do they brainwash the person who wins? Like, is the person who win ever give like half, like a cut or
I mean,
whatever? Like,
sometimes I've seen people like, slip like 200 or whatever to like the person that they were with or whatever it is. Like sometimes they'll try and tip you, but you can't accept tips, which is fucking shit.
$200? What's $200 percent wise on 92,000? That's a pity
Literally.
That's a pity ass tip. That's like,
It's still better than the
basically just
$0.
I agree.
It's still better than the $0. But just a second. Okay.
Did you ever
but yeah,
have to be like, to the person beside, like pull them away or like they almost want to fight them? Like,
okay, what do you think I look like? We have security for that. I'm a little
listen.
shrimp that goes, I have your money, and if it's too much, I'm leaving. But I think like I've just seen so much people like spending and winning so much that you just become a little bit immune to it. Like, you would see that person win 94K and they'll still be there till the morning playing.
oh, it's
So
gone.
half that money's
Gone in the morning. That
Yeah, it's gone.
94,000 gone.
I remember somebody said, and it's so true, you can never win in a casino. Like the only time you can ever win is literally if you walk in once, win a jackpot, and never step foot in a casino again, because the way a casino works, eventually at some point they'll get your money back. And that's how it works.
100%.
When you win, the idea behind gambling is that when you win, you experience like a feeling of like euphoria, like you feel really good when you win. So that's how an addiction starts. You keep going back because you want to feel that same like, oh my God, I won. But obviously the more you do it, the less you feel, the more you need to win to feel good. Then you start chasing up your bets. So like, it's really crazy actually. Like we used to have to take classes on being able to like understand if somebody's a gambling addict and stuff. Like they really educate you well at the casino. It's really fucking crazy.
Wow. I just like,
And
even
also,
to get that job, like it ain't easy. Like
Yeah,
I feel
I had to
like
do 3
when you got that
interviews.
job and we were like all 16, we were going, what the fuck? She's literally in her prison outfit. We can't talk to her if we see her at the casino. Like, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, well, I was
there, but,
18,
like,
but I was
anyways,
18,
I was
and
like,
also
Veronica
when they
is
said
so legit.
I had to do 3 interviews, background check, anything. I'm going, I hope that time I got caught stealing at Walmart doesn't show up because I'm not getting the job.
But what
But,
were like some of
no,
the
it was really-
questions in the interview?
I
'Cause
don't remember.
you
I just know that
sweating
they
and
were all
saying
in
I didn't
French.
get the job because it was so bad. I always remember you saying there was 2 people playing. They gave you a scenario like 2 people are playing.
Oh, yeah.
blackjack or whatever, and the guy who spends a lot of money and he's known at the casino smells really bad, and the person beside is complaining about him. What do you do? And you were
I
like,
totally
well,
remember that question.
I remember you were like, yeah, I said, I go up to the guy who spends a lot, and I said, look, do you want to come have a drink by the bar? And they're like, wrong. You never take somebody who spends money out there. Who cares if he smells? You take the other guy out with his fucking $20 and you go put him somewhere else. And you're like, okay, do I get the job?
Yeah, it was really, really the scariest interview I ever did. And it was in French. And I was like, oh my God, I'm failing this 100%. But somehow I got it and somehow I ended up there. And it was a really crazy experience. And also, I had gotten the job when I first turned 18, never gambled in my life. And when you work at the casino, you're not allowed to gamble in any casino in Canada.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'll never forget
I
when you
think
were
it's
with your
Canada.
ex-boyfriend and you were like, I want to
Yeah.
know what it's like to go to a casino. So you guys drove like 3 hours away. I was like, wow, that's
we went
determination.
to fucking Plattsburgh, which there I realized I wasn't 21 and apparently I wasn't allowed to gamble either, but I somehow walked into the casino and they didn't say anything. I went, what happens if I win $1 million and they realize I'm not old enough to take it?
You say ex-boyfriend, let's change places.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Literally. I remember going for the first time, and that's also the first time I realized that I'm the most unlucky person in the world and I shouldn't ever take up gambling. But we went to the casino and I was so excited. I was playing the slot machines and I would literally win 2 cents and I was going, woo! And the girl beside was going, oh my God, what'd you win? And I was like,
Yeah, because everybody always wants
she was
to know.
like,
It's really
she
crazy.
was like, what the fuck?
It's really crazy because I know that I can become I could become addicting. Like, I know I
could become a dick.
Yeah. I'm already a dick.
You're already dick. Ooh, same joke.
I already know that if I could become addicted. So what's scary for me is that I go with $40, I lose the $40, I cry about it, and then I go home. Like, when I went to Vegas, okay, like the most like gambling city in the world, okay, I get to the airport, we finally arrive, I'm like, Nevada, here we are. And there's a slot machine in the fucking airport. So you can already tell like what's going down in this city. And I was like, oh my God. I was like to my boyfriend, I was like, okay, we need to put in a 20. Like he's like, no. He's like, keep walking. We're going to go. Don't worry. Like, let's settle into our hotel. I was there with like my fucking no makeup on. I'm falling asleep because it was a red eye flight.
But you still had to.
And I was like, we got to put in a 20 in the machine. He's like, Alessia, it was my first time in Vegas. Didn't realize how many machines were actually in every single hotel. So for me, I was like, I don't know when we're going to come around this again. Like, please, this could be like the start to an amazing trip. He's like, keep
this
walking.
could be where we win.
You have no idea how many machines there are. And then I'm like, I was pissed. I was like, I just want to fucking put a 20. Like, why didn't he let me? Like, he stopped me from winning $1 million. Like, it's his fault. Like, you owe it to me now. And then we get to the hotel and I'm just like bombarded. Like, every hotel. Like, basically you go to Vegas for 2 reasons. And it's to drink, have fun, and to gamble. Like, there's not really much. Okay, yes, you go to pool parties and stuff. But when you go on a trip.
Still drinking and having fun.
A relationship trip. Yes, we went out. We had fun. But like. My boyfriend was playing his card games that were taking 3 hours, and I was going, honestly, I should have brought a friend.
Literally. But
then I'm
Vegas,
also going, give me some 20s if you want to keep playing.
Literally,
I lost everybody's money. You know, it doesn't feel so bad when it's somebody else's money, but the second it's my 20, it's like, that shit hits home. That's like $20 I worked for 2 hours scraping pans.
You start counting what you could have bought with that money instead. But
exactly.
There's nothing like gambling with somebody else's money. That's a type of bliss that it's inexplicable. When you get handed those bills and you go, yay, doesn't matter if I lose or if I win. You start going max bet because you don't give a fuck.
Call me crazy, but I always say, no, I don't want to play with your money. And they go, no, it's fine. I go, okay, so what happens if I win? I just want to clear the air now. Like, what happens if we win?
I just want to clear the air now that I'm keeping all of it because I'm the one who clicked the button.
Wow, so I get to play the machines and get half? This is working to my advantage. No problem. Pass me the 20s. I'll never forget, I was up north and it was the first time I ever won in a machine. Okay. I never win. I'm never, ever win. That day I just felt it. I knew. It's whatever gambler says. I just knew. And I hit like $1,200, but it was all my boyfriend's money. And he's playing on his other machine and he's just looking at me like, okay. What was the agreement again?
You're going, babe, it's 120. Don't worry about it. I'm
It's
going to cash out.
$120. You get 60. And then I was
No,
like,
it's 1,200 credits.
You almost feel bad. You're like, wait, am I actually going to take the money? Yeah. Okay, so it's 600 each. Doesn't count the fucking 500 that went in for the 500 that went in that we lost. No, it's on the 1,200 we have.
It's on the final amount, and that's how it works.
I took that money and I said, you know what? Maybe money is the key to happiness.
Literally, but there's nothing like I wish I could experience winning a lot of money in a casino, and it's crazy how some people just have a fucking horseshoe up their ass and some people just don't. Like,
and they just win all the time. Like, I don't understand.
Just some people are so fucking lucky, and I'm so fucking not lucky. I can't even explain how not lucky I am. I never win anything in my life, guys. The one time I did win something was I won a $200 gift card for being the best dressed.
At McDonald's, you won the meal kit, the toy.
No, I won a $200 gift card for being the best dressed. And these are the 2 times I ever won, and I'll tell you guys exactly why I'm not lucky. The first time I ever won, it was a $200 gift card at my LaSalle graduation, okay?
I know this
And
story.
it was a gift card for a store, and I was super excited. First time I ever won anything, okay? 2 weeks later, I lose it in the metro. Can't find it for my life. Somehow lost that one card. I never lose anything, and I lost that gift card. I was like, this is just fucking ridiculous. The second time I won was at my dance. I take dance classes, and the year before I left for Australia, they did a raffle. They put everybody's names in of who took the dance class, and somebody wins a free year of dance, okay? I'm like, sick. I never win anyway, so I don't really care. Don't they pull my fucking name out for a free session of dance? I'm going, amazing. I look at the date of when it expires as soon as I'm back from Australia. I went, cool, I'll just go fuck myself then. So the 2 times I've ever won in my life, I couldn't even use what I won.
Oh my God.
So basically, I'm just
hilarious.
very unlucky. Yeah.
God says, you thought we were going to give it to you, but we just, kind of like Trudeau when he took away Christmas. He said, not so fast.
He said,
sweetie
you
pie."
thought.
Yeah.
Not so fast. Don't think about what you're going to buy with that.
Oh my God. Well, I think I'm going to go get a lotto ticket after this. So you're like, Alessia, you're in COVID. You can't even go to the dep.
Online.
Mom, get me a ticket.
But it's like Instagram giveaways. People tag me all the time, and I say, honestly, guys, I'm not even going to push down your chances by putting my name in there because I know I'm not going to win. So let me just stay out of this one for you guys.
But also, like, you click that. Okay, let me add 2 friends just in case. There's always
Depends
that
what it
little
is.
bit of hope. There's always that little bit of hope that says, you know what? God wants to repay me for all the work I did, which is absolutely nothing.
Maybe I'll get that $200 gift card back somehow.
Crazy. I'll never
But
forget
anyways.
once I got entered. One of my friends entered me in a giveaway, okay? So what happened was I was in Miami, okay? And she entered me in a giveaway. And what ended up happening was...
sketch.
Yeah, like you enter people. You have to like tag 2 friends.
Oh, okay.
She entered me into a giveaway and then I won. And then I wasn't sure like how that worked because when you win, you both win, whatever. So she tagged me and I didn't even tag anybody and I won. So it's a bit like when you win like that, like, is the gift yours? Because
like what?
She was like, what the fuck? You won because of me? This and that. I'm like, okay, you're actually a sore loser. Like, you would think I won like an Apple phone or something. It was like not anything like huge.
It was like a box of cookies and an earphones.
Every single person with the letter A could enter, okay? Because the gift that they were giving away was custom, okay? So she had a letter A, I had a letter A. She was like, okay, well, I'm going to enter her in the giveaway because her letter's A. And she probably at the time would have entered me regardless, but my name was A. I ended up winning. She was like, what the fuck? Like, I entered you. Like, you wouldn't have never even entered. And I was like, do I have to give her the thing? Like, how does it, like, am I a mean friend if I don't? You know what I mean, though? Part of me is like, well, they wanted me to win. Like, you can't blame me.
You put me into this. I didn't ask to be in here.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for this.
No takesies, backsies.
Literally, this episode is going to be called Takesies Backsies. Like,
oh my God.
Everybody's just trying to steal what they measly give us.
I know I'm
but
laughing,
anyways,
the second this podcast ends, I realize I'm back in COVID.
It's crazy. I realize I have nowhere to go.
Yeah, my Instagram stories, like, I'm actually starting to lose my mind. Like my friends are like, okay,
I
Alessia, maybe stop on the Instagram stories.
I hit my first million views on TikTok and I'm very excited, except it was on the probably most loser video I've ever made that I'm not even in. I just made a quick little jokes video and somehow that's the one that got a million views. So I said, you know what? I'm fucking done doing this. This is ridiculous.
Oh, I'm dead. You're like, I'm there
But I
spending
said,
3 hours doing my makeup, and then the one that gets picked is the one where there's not even my face in it. Like,
I'm there putting a wig, taking off a wig, putting on a new
Oh.
outfit, taking off the new outfit, put it in the right place.
But actually-
and it gets 300 views.
and Veronica was like, if only I had Chemical X like in the background of that video.
I was like, if only when I videotaped, if only like Chemical X was said somewhere that I could at least feel like I did what I needed to do out of that.
Like
but those million views went down the
followers were
drain.
for something. Wow.
It went down the drain.
That's
But
so
anyways,
sad.
guys, I think that's all I have to say. Nothing new happened to me. I've been locked in a box since our last podcast, so that's all I have to say for this week. Alessia?
Pretty much.
Any last word?
At this point, guys, we have COVID. Leave us alone.
Literally. There's so many things going on, cameras, laptops. I don't want to do
it's
this
hurting your
anymore.
head that doesn't have COVID.
My negative test head.
Aww. And now that Christmas is around the corner, I did want to say, like, I feel like it's like important to mention that it's, you know, to help out and support small businesses. A lot of times we think, you know, well, it's so easy. Let me just order on Amazon. Like, we get it in a day. But we don't realize that there's so many companies right now that are suffering. And I just think if you can help them out and you're going to get a gift anyways, to try and like shop local and, you know, follow our podcast and subscribe. And like, you know, you never know what giveaway is going to be coming on our page.
No, definitely, guys. Holiday season, if you're looking for gifts, look at something that's local. I mean, like, honestly, Amazon is not near bankruptcy. So put your money where somebody would be very excited to put in the work
And
to
it's
make you your product. And
it's the casino. Put your money there. Because you know, you never know the outcome.
crazy. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. See you next week.
Love you guys.